Most people walk into the world emotionally exposed, like a house with unlocked doors and open windows, then act surprised when something gets stolen. Not money, not status, position, trust, advantage. They think sincerity is protection. They think effort guarantees fairness. They think being good automatically makes them safe. It doesn't. Reality doesn't reward intentions. It rewards awareness. There is a form of intelligence rarely taught, not in school, not in polite conversation, because it sounds dangerous when misunderstood. But when used correctly, it is not cruelty. It is armor. Call it strategic intelligence. Some call it dark intelligence, not because it is evil, but because it operates in the shadows most people refuse to look at. It is the discipline of seeing motives clearly, controlling emotional reactions, and moving with intention instead of impulse. And once you develop it, you stop being easy to outplay. This mindset begins with a hard acceptance. Not everyone who smiles at you supports you. Not everyone who praises you respects you. Not everyone who agrees with you is on your side. Surface behavior is cheap. Patterns are truth. Strategic minds don't read words. They read consistency, incentives, and timing. When someone flatters you too quickly, they don't feel chosen. They feel alerted. When someone pushes urgency, they don't feel pressure. They feel leverage being attempted. When someone oversells loyalty, they don't relax. They watch closer. Because real intention rarely announces itself loudly. It leaks through behavior. Most people react to moments. Strategic thinkers study patterns. A raised voice means little. Repeated disrespect means everything. One favor means little. Conditional generosity means everything. One apology means little. Repeated boundary crossing means everything. This is the first trait. Pattern awareness over emotional reaction. Emotional thinkers ask, how did that make me feel? Strategic thinkers ask, how often has this happened? And what does it predict? Prediction is power. When you can anticipate behavior, you are no longer standing in the rain. You are watching the storm from shelter. The second trait is restraint. Average minds rush to express their anger, their plans, their victories, their frustrations. They leak information like a cracked container. But restraint is not weakness. It is stored force. A restrained mind does not mean silent. It means selective. Not every thought deserves air. Not every plan deserves witnesses. Not every win deserves announcement. When you speak too early, you invite interference. When you reveal too much, you invite resistance. When you celebrate too loudly, you invite competition. Strategic people understand timing is part of truth. They let results speak at full volume instead of intentions whispering prematurely. The third trait is calibrated trust. Blind trust is surrender. Total distrust is isolation. Strategic trust is measured exposure. You do not give people full access. You give them small tests. Not dramatic tests, not traps, just layers. Small responsibilities, small confidences, small collaborations. And you watch what happens. Do they handle it carefully or casually? Do they protect your interest or trade it for convenience? Do they respect boundaries or push them? Trust should grow like a ladder, rung by rung, not like a cliff jump, because betrayal rarely begins with big secrets. It begins with small permissions. The fourth trait is emotional control under provocation. Provocation is one of the oldest manipulation tools on earth. Make them angry, they lose precision. Make them defensive, they reveal information. Make them rushed, they make mistakes. That's why strategic minds train pause. When insulted, they slow down. When pressured, they ask questions. When challenged, they lower their voice instead of raising it. Calm is not personality, it is tactical advantage. When you do not react on schedule, you break other people's scripts. And people who cannot predict your reactions cannot easily control your behavior. The fifth trait is motive analysis. Most people judge actions. Strategic thinkers judge incentives. Instead of asking, "What did they do?" they ask, "What do they gain?" Because incentives expose truth faster than emotions ever will. Praise with nothing to gain is rare and valuable. Help with hidden benefit is common and negotiable. Advice that increases their control over you is not guidance. It is positioning. When you learn to trace incentives, confusion disappears. The sixth trait is controlled visibility, not hiding, but not broadcasting. There is danger in being underestimated, but there is also danger in being fully measured. Strategic people are legible, but not fully readable. They let others see competence, but not full capacity. They show direction, but not full strategy. They show confidence, but not pressure points. Mystery is not manipulation. It is protection from premature targeting. The seventh trait is consequence thinking. Every move has a second move attached to it, whether people see it or not. Strategic thinkers mentally simulate outcomes. If I say this, what chain reaction begins? If I agree, what expectation is created? If I refuse, what door closes and which opens? This is not paranoia. It is foresight. Impulsive choices feel powerful in the moment. Calculated choices remain powerful over time. The eighth trait, and the one most misunderstood, is ethical direction. Dark intelligence without ethics becomes exploitation. Dark intelligence with ethics becomes defense. The purpose is not to dominate innocent people. The purpose is not to manipulate trust. The purpose is not to deceive for pleasure. The purpose is to stop being naive in environments that are not innocent. A shield, not a dagger. Because once you see clearly, you realize something uncomfortable. Most social damage is not done by masterminds. It is done by careless people with selfish impulses and no awareness of the harm they cause. Strategic intelligence protects you from both predators and the reckless. It teaches you when to engage and when to step back, when to speak and when to document, when to collaborate and when to create distance. It replaces emotional gambling with behavioral reading. And here is the paradox. The more strategically aware you become, the less dramatic your life becomes. Fewer explosions, fewer betrayals, fewer regrets. Because you stop walking into traps you can already see. You stop confusing charm with character, intensity with sincerity, urgency with importance. You begin choosing responses instead of leaking reactions. And that is real power. Not loud power, not theatrical power, not aggressive power. Quiet power. The kind that changes outcomes without announcing itself. If you develop this mindset, you will notice something subtle but profound. People stop steering you emotionally. Pressure stops speeding you up. Flattery stops blinding you. Fear stops shrinking you. Because awareness replaces guesswork. And when awareness leads, you are no longer easy terrain. You become difficult ground. Study patterns. Control reactions. Measure incentives. Reveal slowly. Decide deliberately. That is strategic intelligence. Most people never build it because it requires discomfort, patience, and self-control. But once you do, you stop playing the social game blindly. You start playing it awake.